What is up, and welcome back to the Unfiltered Trainer podcast. I am your host, Gina, aka Gina Marie Fit. And y'all, I'm always going to keep it real and honest on this podcast. I am feeling all over the place. As you guys will hear this episode on Tuesday, I will have said goodbye to the closest friend I have in Tampa. She moved to Chicago, and as excited as I am for her and this new chapter, I'd be lying if I didn't say that I cried the entire way home. After saying goodbye to her, I held a brave face until I was out of sight, and then I cried my entire way home because 2023 was rough. And it was definitely a year of unexpected circumstances, changes, relationship changes. I definitely had a significant amount of more people in my life last year. I don't want to necessarily say friends. I want to say people. And now I'm going into 2024 with a select group of people that I feel like vibe with me. I vibe with them. I have their back. They have my back. And we generally just want to see each other succeed. And that is extremely refreshing. And I'm so grateful for them. I'm not taking away from them. But Ashley was my go-to person in Tampa. She was just the person I'm definitely closest to. And last year when I had my first panic attack on the side of a street outside of my job, she was that friend that was there. And she was there through all of it. She was the person I called when I had my car accident. She's the person that took me to the urgent care. And she just held it down for me as I was going through some of the toughest times I have had since living in Tampa. And so it's sad to know that I just won't see her, and it's going to be quite a while before we do get to meet up. And so my heart is just overjoyed though, because this is something that is good for her and it's going to benefit her the most. And her roommate Marie, who I've got to become friends with and I'm super grateful for to have got to know in Tampa, are both moving. And so it's a great thing for them. And I selfishly am just sad that I don't have them in my life every day anymore. And then at the same time, as you are hearing this, I'm elated because I did it. I quit my job, and it's shocking in words that I didn't think I would ever get to say. Last year during 2023, I had what was supposed to be a full-time healthcare job. I was a head coach at a fitness studio, and I worked PRN. So I was working part-time weekends because my full-time healthcare job was bought out by a corporation, and it went from being a good, comfortable environment, I was happy there, it was good enough, to being an environment that really tested my mental health. And then they cut our pay by 20%, and it became detrimental to my existence. And so I had to pick up every weekend, every option I could at my PRN gig just to pay my bills. And most weeks I was working 75 to 80 hours a week between all three to make up for that 20% difference. And if you guys don't know a lot about Tampa right now, Tampa is truly one of the most expensive places to live. It has doubled in cost of living by 50% in just rent alone in less than 2 years. And it's everywhere is expensive, everywhere's been going up, but Tampa skyrocketed super fast. And what's hard about Tampa is salaries don't match cost of living. You have people right now from New York, LA, and Chicago who are moving here drastically at alarming rates still. And an article came out in one of these economic reports, and it said that those three cities are the three moving to Tampa the most, and the median average income from 25 to 35-year-olds is $200,000. And it was just shocking to me because the average salary in Tampa is not even 70, yet you can't rent a one-bedroom in downtown Tampa now for less than 80. And so the math truly is not mathing. And you just generally feel concerned for anybody that holds down a job like a healthcare worker, a teacher, anything normal that's not remote and out of state. How are you supposed to survive in the city of Tampa? I genuinely am concerned for a lot of my coworkers, a lot of my friends. It just gets to the point that it's supposed to be enjoyable living here. But if you spend every waking minute working to afford the cost of living here, you really have to make some tough decisions. And so I know I'm really putting out positive vibes for 2024. And one of the things I knew I had to do was to quit this job. It's extremely toxic. It was not a welcoming, friendly environment. It's not one that I felt comfortable in, nor do I feel supported in. And it was one of those things where it was like that final cord that needed cut, because what I learned last year is when a decision got made for me, when that decision got made for me, as hard as it was in the way that that decision was made, I learned so much. And when that decision got made for me, because I kept pushing the decision myself and I'd push it back again and I'd justify in my head why I couldn't leave. And then it happened, and so many doors have opened for me in the last few months because of that cord being cut. I know that when this cord gets cut and I no longer have to feel this stress and anxiety on Sunday nights, like major Sunday scaries, because I know that for the next 5 days, I'm not going to know my schedule. I'm not going to know where I'm working. I'm going to be sent all over Timbuktu, driving 60, 70 minutes between patients, and I won't even know what my paycheck is at the end of the day. And so one of my biggest struggles and things that cause me the most anxiety is financial instability. And it's one of those things that in 2024, I want to take the reins on. And so it was time to quit. It truly was something that had to happen. And I sent my email on Monday afternoon and gave my notice, and I officially will no longer be full-time for that company as of February 2nd. And I am just praying, hoping, wishing to God, the universe, everything above, that I have been busting my ass for years, but specifically the last 2 years, that I'm really hoping that all of my efforts are going to be rewarded, that my new job that I'm stepping into early now, I quit a month early because my new role needs me now in full capacity, that this is something I have definitely worked for tirelessly. I have earned this position and I'm going to earn it every single day, because I'm not somebody that just takes on a title and boasts about it and things like, oh, this is my title, blah, 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 blah. No. What I do when I get a title is I bust my ass and I work super freaking hard, and I prove day in and day out why that decision was made the right way when I was chosen to be in that leadership role. And I know I'm stepping into this new role willing to be there AM to PM. Like I told our owner last week, I said, man, I have a feeling when we open, I'm going to be there morning to night. And I'm ready. Like I've been relaxing right now for this last month before we open, because I know I'm going to be needed all of the time. And I'm so excited because they value me and I'm so appreciative for them that I'm willing to do the absolute most to make this possible. And so in a month, I will have fully been in my new role. We will hopefully have opened our doors for the soft opening, and 2024 can officially begin, because I am releasing everything that was toxic and held me back in 2023, and we're going full force into 2024, which is why today's podcast is the ins and outs for 2024 lifestyle edition. And so health, fitness, mental health, we're going to mix it up in between. And so I'm always somebody that wants to hit the negative and then finish out on a positive. And so we're going to hit what is out, and then we're going to get into what is in for 2024. And so right out the gate, y'all, number one, overexerting ourselves, whether that's in the gym or in life. There is no medal, no award for doing the most amount of workouts per day or per week. This is not a competition. It just blows my mind as a personal trainer when you see people truly overdoing it when it comes to fitness, and they wear it like a medal on their chest as if it's something to be proud of, when genuinely it's something extremely concerning. People in general need to stop overdoing it, and that's myself included in this. Your body needs to rest. No one needs to work out 7 days a week, let alone doing multiple workouts per day, 7 days a week. I promise you that your body will notice a change in the gains when you learn to stop exerting yourself, because you can use that gym time that you don't need to be using at the gym to do other things that you're interested in. You could be doing other things for your recovery. You could be learning a new skill, or you could be going to therapy, because we all know we're going to need it. This time that you waste because you think that by doing more workouts, you're going to expedite your results. Instead, you're actually just impeding those results because you're not allowing your muscle fibers to relax and rebuild in time before that next workout. There's so much you could be doing, and it always breaks my heart to my fellow hustlers, and you know who you are, because we are doing so much in our lives and we want to tap into all of our potential. And then we spend all this time at the gym that you feel like by the end of the week, you're burnout, you're exhausted, you're depleted, you have no time. And then you look back on your week disappointed because then Sunday comes around and here we go again. When in reality, if you are more intentional with the effort you are putting into your workouts, you would see that you didn't need to do so many workouts, that it truly is in the quality, not the quantity of how many workouts you're doing every single day. Number 2, we're saying goodbye to negative self-talk and comparison. Y'all, it's so cliche because it's said so much, but comparison truly steals your joy. And if you continue to let it and compare yourself to other people where they're at, this is something that's really hard for me in Tampa. A lot of times I don't feel like I belong here because I am making my own living. I don't have anybody helping me. I had to put myself through school, had to buy my first car. I pay for everything. And then I see so many people that still have 2 living parents and they came out of school debt free. And I compare myself to them because I'm not where I want to be yet at my age, when in reality, their life is significantly different than mine. Because sadly, when you do have student loan debt and you don't have anybody to support you and you come out of school, you are behind already. And it gets overwhelming when you see other people in a different phase of life and you keep comparing yourself to where they're at and you keep feeling like you're behind, when in reality, when I think about what I've been through and where I come from, it's incredible what I've accomplished. And so it's truly something that I know I need to work on, and I'm going to work on year in and year out, because it's so hard to get out of your head. But once we do and we stop comparing ourselves to other people and where we remove that negative self-talk, the quality of your life and my life elevates. I promise you, people are not watching you as much as you think. And I know it's hard because I dealt with this a lot in 2023 with people having my name in their mouth so much. It just is appalling to me that people just can't, you got an issue with somebody, just say it. Deal with it head on. Don't create these narratives in your head because you're worried about something or you don't know how they're going to receive it. Negative self-talk starts with us and the comparison starts with us. And so sometimes we're so consumed with our own thought patterns and processes that we're creating narratives that don't exist. And then we're creating issues amongst people in our lives when in reality, that is not even remotely what they thought or what they said. Everybody has a different personality. We have a different upbringing. We do have different backgrounds. It doesn't mean one way is better than the other. It just means that open and honest communication is necessary for successful relationships, whether that's personal, professional. So just take time. When you feel those negative thought patterns, processes, self-comparison, let that thought come in, let it go out, and then revert the thought pattern process that you're dealing with into something positive, because I promise you, you're being 10 times harder on yourself than you would be on anybody else in your life. And if you're anything like me, we're always giving grace to others. We don't get it in return, sadly. However, that doesn't mean we have to change who we are or how we treat other people just because they don't reciprocate the same energy. It's always good to be above it, then be in it and involved through it. Just rise above the circumstances and situations in your life, but start with yourself and start saying kind, thoughtful things to yourself, because then you will reciprocate that to others. Number 3, poor time management and not prioritizing yourself. Y'all, I am an extremely organized person. I have OCD, I have colors, I have highlighters, I have a planner. I have my life together. As much as I feel like I'm a hot mess because I have a brain injury right now, At the end of the day, I have been managing 3 jobs. One's a leadership role. I'm building a nonprofit group. I am still volunteering, still involved in my community. At the end of the week, I am so tired in the best possible way because I do so much. And I do all of that because I have exceptional time management skills. But my friends that I see struggling the most are the ones that are all over the place. They have big goals, big dreams, big hearts, but their poor time management is what leaves them feeling depleted at the end of the day. And one of the things that I know can be harsh, but this is the Unfiltered Trainer, y'all, and we're not here to hold each other's hands. Saying you don't have time is the easiest excuse in the book, because reality, we make time for what's a priority. For me, when Selling Sunset comes out, you best believe I'm binging that show all weekend long. When a friend wants to go to dinner, I'm there. When a friend has a special event they need supported at, I'm there. Y'all, we make time for what's a priority in our life. Now, if there's anybody that knows, it's me, that life can get heavy. There are many seasons we are going to experience. I am personally experiencing a very difficult one myself. You don't need hours a day. You just need a set schedule, a system that you fluidly complete day in and day out. Crush that system, that routine, and then you'll notice this increase in productivity, an increase in mood. You'll find actual time to rest because you'll have it planned in your day, because you won't be wasting time. You'll be getting stuff done. And something that's been really beneficial is getting out of the house so you can focus on you. I feel like when I'm in my apartment for too long, I'm cleaning, I'm doing laundry, I'm organizing things, I'm literally going through the closet. Like, there's so many things I see that need done, but they don't need done today. They don't need done tomorrow. And it's one of those things when I get out and I work from somewhere else, or I'm doing things outside of the house, it's been so much more beneficial because I'm getting things done quicker because I'm not distracted. And then it's really beneficial because when you get out of the house and you go do those things you do want to do, like take a painting class, go to yoga, try a new workout, you meet friends, you network, you build connections. It's so beneficial to become better at managing your time and prioritizing yourself. So leave behind the poor management issues you had in 2023, and let's truly just boss up in every area of our life and handle things. Number 4, it's a health and fitness one for sure, is restrictive dieting. Please, I know this is lame, but can we seriously make 2024 the year that we nourish ourselves, mind, body, and soul, and we don't feel compelled to be excessively restrictive to the point that it truly affects our mental health? I know it's easier said than done as somebody that has a history of restrictive eating, but y'all, the 80-20 rule was a game changer for me. Something I did after counting macros, which ended up being not the greatest thing for me. FYI, counting macros is not the be-all end-all to getting results. It is an extremely beneficial tool, and it's great for learning portions and learning how your body responds to different foods and food groups. But if you have a history of restrictive eating and you work with a coach and that is all they give you, you're better off working with either a dietitian, nutritionist, somebody that can showcase the flexibility behind nutrition. Because if you give somebody who's already restrictive a restrictive plan, you can set them up for failure. And so after I did macro tracking, it was really beneficial for me. I learned a lot, but I also fell into some not great tendencies. I then transitioned to more of an intuitive eating style. And it really was more beneficial for me because I didn't have to skip out on dinners out to eat. I didn't have to feel like I couldn't have a margarita or have the candy at the movie because I didn't have the macros left. Sometimes macro tracking can be too excessive. There's a time and a place for so many different styles of fitness and nutrition. But if you're so restrictive to the point that you're eating 1,200 calories and working out multiple times a day, this is where that trigger warning comes out. It may be time to sit down and really look at the issues that you're experiencing and why you're focused so much on those limiting systems in your life, that you're holding on to those things you can't control. it usually means that there are other areas of your life that are out of control, and you're trying to maintain this falsified narrative that you're in control, when in reality you've got some probably pretty big issues you need to deal with. And that's what my therapist taught me as to why I was so restrictive with my nutrition and so obsessed with my fitness, is because my life was out of control. And it was the only thing I felt like I was in control of until I learned how to take control of my life. Lastly, the thing we are leaving behind in 2023, it is out for 2024. That's being a hater. Yeah, I'm pausing. You hear me? I said we're not doing it. We are not being haters in 2024. Y'all, leave that shit behind. If somebody in your friend group is talking a mess about somebody and you know it's not warranted, please stop the conversation. You continue those narratives, you allow that in your friend group, you are giving life to this nonsense. We don't need to be overly critical of one another. We don't need to be rude. We don't need to be catty. Like, there's no reason to be judging other people, especially when they're doing more, y'all. People come for you when you're doing the most, and it's jealousy. And it's sad because that person that's doing the most literally would give their heart and soul to help you. They're the type of people that would drop everything to be there if you needed something. And we're out here talking a mess about them. Like, y'all, we've got to stop the hate, especially ladies. When we feel into these conversations, we are continuing the narrative that everybody has had about catty, gossipy women for the sake of time. But we can be the change. We can change the narrative. We don't have to be these people. Instead, we should be lifting each other up, hyping each other up. You see somebody puts a post out on social media and you freaking see that post, hit the heart button. You don't got to comment. You don't got to be super involved. But if you're watching somebody's stories every freaking day, and you see they put up a post in their story and you can't take the 2 seconds to go engage in that post and knowing that that would help them, why are you following that person then? Why are you watching their life but refusing to engage when you know they're trying to do something with that? Don't be a hater. Don't be silently watching somebody from behind. If you follow somebody and you watch them every day, hit the like button. Do them one better. Comment on their post. Don't be a little bitch about things. Like, comment on their post, because that's going to help them even more. And then if you really want to be a 2.0 kind of person, you want to be a good friend, you want to be a good supporter, share it. Share their post, especially if it resonates with you, especially if it's sponsored content or they're doing something or they got a new job or they're putting a product out there. Be that person that hits like, drops a comment, and shares it. Y'all, that helps so many people online. It helps my podcast, your comments, your downloads. Yo, that's what makes this possible. We hit over 500 downloads in like 5 weeks. That's awesome. Those are metrics, analytics, y'all. You are taking somebody's content, somebody's valuable time. The amount of time that goes into social media is wild. The amount of time that goes in this podcast, the amount of weeks I spent trying to recover from my brain injury, building this podcast, y'all. You're watching it. I can see who watches my stories every single day. Be the bigger person. Be a better person. And engage in that person's content. If you're taking it in, celebrate and support them. Be a bigger person and a better person in 2024. Now, let's get into what is in for 2024. This is what I want to see trend. This is what I want to see us focus on. Y'all ready? Number 1, bam, more well-informed decisions about fitness. Y'all, I didn't stutter. Skip the trends and follow a more individualized, personalized approach to your health and fitness. Consider all corners of your life, mental, physical, emotional, and take this year, take even more a little holistic approach, a little meditation, a little yoga. How about a little personal development? Clearly, we all need to grow, myself included. I got super triggered in the last few days and almost cried because I just can't handle stuff because I feel like I'm doing everything I can and it's still not enough. Like, we are human beings. We are growing. We are evolving. Emphasize evidence-based practice in things that you're doing and things that you're following, programs, people. Stop just following that person on social media that has 8 million followers and they're putting out really piss poor content that's not true. There's so many times I see fitness influencers, quote unquote, or people desperate to become an influencer putting out content that's not valid. And then people are taking it in because they're popular, but then the content isn't actually valuable and it lacks the validity. And then people wonder why they don't see results or they get hurt. Follow people that know what they're talking about and take time to see all avenues of fitness. Like, yes, I love weight training and it's incredibly beneficial for you, but I also love yoga and Pilates. And personally, I think when you combine all three, that is a game changer. My best physique since living in Tampa was when I was doing primarily weight training and yoga and Pilates 1 time a week each. Y'all, I see those videos pop up and I'm like, damn, I did that. That girl, she was me. I was her. Like, she was cute, girl. Like, she had it going on. She had a booty. She was strong as could be. Deadlifting, 200 pounds. Hip thrusting, almost 400 pounds. Lean, I was good because I incorporated all three. And I seriously believe when you do, game changer, you don't need excessive cardio. You don't need restrictive dieting. You just need an approach that is more individualized and not following the trends. It truly addresses everything, mind, body, and soul. Number 2, and this is for a lot of you. I'm not going to call you out by name, but you know who you are. The importance of sleep and rest days is in 2024. Throw your hands up now because it is the time, y'all. Don't destroy your body for the sake of what you call discipline. Being able to say you did X amount of workouts is nothing. It's a statement. That does not define you. And I'm sad, honestly, for you if that is where your worth comes from. Life is going to get in the way. Things are going to come up. Fun events will arise. You don't need to feel guilty for letting your body recover. And honestly, I swear, I said this earlier, it's going to help prevent burnout. It's going to prevent injuries. Insufficient sleep is literally linked to obesity, diabetes, cardiovascular problems, and a weakened immune system, y'all. No one has time to be sick. We all got goals. We got major things we're trying to accomplish this year. You can't afford to be run down. So stop working out 7 days a week, multiple hours a day, and start sleeping 7 to 9 hours. For me, 8 to 9, optimal. Can survive on 7. Anything less than 7, don't come around me. It's awful. And then I have to over caffeinate to compensate, which is not good for you either. And there's a lot of really great beneficial things now, trackers, white noise, avoiding screen time. I know a lot of people just don't sleep well. And so I actually had insomnia. I don't know if I've ever shared that on the podcast yet. I actually went through a period of my life of extreme stress where I just didn't sleep. And I'm talking for days at a time. It got really scary and it was really bad. And so things I had to do were truly to force my brain to slow down, which is super hard if you know me. I'm somebody that actively uses my artsy part of my brain and like my smarts. They constantly fire at the same time. And I truly say that my brain is a prison because I visualize things, but I also have the brain to know what it takes to make things happen. And I can't stop doing something until it's exactly as I imagined it to perfection. And that is what kept me up at night for literally weeks on end. And so I would like not sleep for 2 or 3 days. It was really awful. And then I would sleep for like a short amount of time. And it ended up leading to the point that I got sick. And so what I learned is to slow my brain down roughly like an hour before I do know I need to go to bed. No screens. I read, I journal. You just got to let your mind rest and then get into that routine, going to bed at a certain time, waking up at a certain time. Make it a priority. And if that means you're losing sleep because you're working out too much, it's not rocket science what you need to do. Number 3, we are focusing on post-workout recovery. I wish this was a video, and I'm working on how we're going to make video options for this podcast this year. But if you could see me, I'm so animated right now because post-workout recovery is something I could just go on a tangent about. Too often, I would see people walk out of my group fitness class and just leave. Go right out into that cold weather, didn't stretch, didn't do anything. I know they're not stretching at home, but they're making it trendy right now, recovery. You see ice baths, you see saunas, you see so many gyms with all these amenities, with these programs. Y'all, whatever it takes, please just do it. Please learn the benefits of dynamic stretching before you work out, static stretching when you're recovering, making sure you're utilizing, again, personalized, data-driven approaches, y'all. Imagine that. There are people out there with degrees and qualifications that know what they're talking about, and they don't have large followings on social media. This also includes your nutrition pre and post workout. Yes, if you're not seeing results, you should look at your nutrition, not about how much you're eating, but about what you're eating and when you're eating it. Y'all, I can't lift without eating. I can do cardio fasted, no issue, but I lift significantly better when I am well fed. And then this also includes mental well-being. Another type of post-workout recovery can be literally your mental health. What are you doing when you're running yourself ragged? What are you doing to refuel you? So make sure we're focusing on rest days, stretching, recovery. You can utilize, cold plunging. There's been a lot of benefits about it. I mean, I'm not saying I'm crazy enough to do it. Y'all know me. You know I don't like to be cold. I'm having a fit right now in the state of Florida because there was a 3 for the first number for the temperature, and I pay a premium to live here to not be cold. You best believe I was researching where else I was going to live because it truly is something I cannot stand. But I know there's a lot of research behind it, and something I encourage everybody to do is don't just take my word for things. Like, I am a resource. I'm a source of information, but go out and do your own research and then talk to your doctor, please. Hello. There are so many people on medications that have side effects to extreme cold, extreme heat. Please make sure you talk to your doctor, especially my chronic condition baddies, like you know who you are. We have to be careful about what we do. We can't just do what somebody's doing because everybody's going. If you're on medications, if you have issues internally, chronic conditions, you really got to talk to your doctor before you go submerge yourself in water or put yourself in a hot sauna, because it actually can be detrimental to your body and it can change the way that you absorb your medications. Number 4, this is cute and it's woo-woo, but it's true. Can we learn in 2024 and make it trendy to be kind to our body along the journey? Can we not just celebrate the end result, but can we embrace every single aspect of the journey and make it important, because so many people are making their decisions and their game plan for their health right now. Let's be real. January, it ain't nothing. This isn't the start of the new year. February is the start of the new year, y'all. January, we're still trying to figure out what day of the week it is. We're still trying to recover from the holidays. Financially, that was a rough 3 holidays and 30 some days. That's a lot, y'all. Financially, you're trying to recover. We're just trying to find our way back to ourselves and trying to find some semblance of a routine. So I know a lot of you right now, you're not there yet, myself included. I haven't figured out my routine yet. We are starting to decide our plan for our health right now. Realize that everybody starts somewhere. We are all on a different path. We are all on a different level. It's necessary that you start to learn to ignore the noise, skip the comparison, and focus on your results, your effort, and not what's going on around you. No one gets results overnight. You can't expedite them, and anybody that is overly exercising and under eating, all they do is get short-term results. Nothing is long-term, and it ends up being significantly more detrimental than they realize down the line. So be prepared to do the work, recognize how long it took you to want to make a transformation, and then reverse engineer how long that's going to take you, and realize you're going to need a significant amount of grace along the journey. Number 5, what is in for 2024 in fitness is making fitness fun again. Y'all, get outside of your routine. Leave behind what's comfortable and experience all that your community has to offer. There are so many community events, which is part of why I'm expanding what's now called Sweating Together for a Cause. It's not just going to be my charity event, but I'm going to be highlighting every single person that I hear about or I know hosting free community workouts to get the word out. Again, like I said about social media, I have a platform. Why wouldn't I use my platform to promote other people doing the most, Everybody can be successful in this environment. So take a chance to take a class, experience a new format, and make fitness fun. I am so excited for my new role that's coming next month because it's going to be fun again. It's new, it's scary. I'm learning. I'm slightly terrified some days because I'm like, oh my God, this is the game changer, the missing link in group fitness. And we have it. I'm a part of it. Oh my God. I'm like, oh, this is really a thing. We are bringing the thing that's been missing. Y'all, when you see it, oh, it's going to be so fire. It's going to be so fire. I'm so freaking ready to take classes myself and see my own transformation. But you don't have to come to my gym only. There's so many gyms, especially if you're in Tampa. Bro, I literally was counting over 100 in Google and I had to stop. There's so many cool options, exceptional trainers, different varieties, backgrounds. There's nothing that annoys me more when talking to other personal trainers than when they think their way is the highway. No, baby, there are so many paths along the way, so many exits, so many detours. There is no one size fits all for everybody. And that's why I love yoga and Pilates, because strength training is great, but there are people who can only do so much and they benefit from that. But we all benefit from mobility and stretching and core activation and breathing, which is why you can incorporate all three and you're going to be a little fit baddie mentally, physically, and emotionally. It's the game changer. Number 6, something that I want us to make time for, and it's kind of like your call to action in this podcast, is goal setting. I want you to review your 2023. Now, disclaimer, those of us that had a trying 2023, you might want to have some tissues, your favorite drink, might be want to put your comfy pajamas on and find a safe space. Because when you review your 2023, because I did this, it can be overwhelming. It was really hard for me to look at my year in review because it was a lot. I went through a lot of changes, had a life-altering accident. I have a brain injury I'm trying to recover from, and I literally am leaving behind everything I've ever known to pursue a new job and pursue some other goals. It's a lot, and I know it's going to be a lot for a lot of you. 2023 was trash, but it wasn't all bad because a lot of great things happened to people I love. A lot of incredible milestones happened for people I love. And for me, it was the biggest year of lessons, necessary lessons. I truly had to be knocked down a few pegs to tap into the fact that I was entertaining so many things that I didn't deserve and had no business doing. And now I'm stepping into my truest self. And it's just so, I don't know, it's just so awesome. And I get emotional even thinking about it, to know that I am getting what I deserve finally. And so that's why I want you to do a 2023 year in review. Write down your highs, your lows, the things that you wanted to happen and didn't, things you wish would have happened, how if you could have done something, you could have done it differently. Let me tell you, there's some scenarios in my life last year that if I could, I would totally go back and do them over, but you can't. And so I'm going to take those as a learning experience and really strive to just be better because I need to be better. And then after you do your 2023 year in review, I want you to rip it up, throw it away, and truly start a clean slate, fresh page, and set some goals for 2024. Who do you want to be? What do you want to feel like? What do you want your life to look like? And who do you want to become? That is what is going to be in 2024, is tapping into our truest potential, to the person that we have been shying away from, and we are going to boss up and just be better human beings. So for 2024, what's in, what's out, we covered it in my sense. And now I want you to take time to sit with yourself, do that year in review, then let it go. Don't perseverate on it anymore. It's over. We're moving forward together. And know, as you're setting those goals, if you want me, you can always reach out. You can always DM me at Gina Marie Fit or the Unfiltered Trainer. And if you want to talk about goal setting or how to set, realistic, smart, tangible goals, or how to reverse engineer a goal, I am always willing to sit with people and kind of brainstorm, because even though 2023 was trash, I still accomplished a lot, which is why 2024 is going to be just like badass, because I am going to accomplish like the most I ever have this year. And it's because last year was so rough. Like the foundation was shaken, like had to be shaken, I should say. And now we're rebuilding, and it's really freaking cool what's coming. So that's your call to action for today. If you haven't yet, please make sure you're subscribed to this podcast. You've left that written comment and 5-star review, because I'm going to start doing monthly giveaways now every time we get reviews. And so I'm going to just put all the reviews together, and once a month, the last week of the month, I'm going to pull a giveaway winner. I actually just gifted everybody that won for the start of the podcast. They got Hydro Drug Travelers. They got gift cards to local companies. They got snacks, a bunch of like self-care things. Like, if you don't know this about me, gift giving is my love language, and it makes me so happy to give people things that they deserve and to treat people the way they deserve to be treated. And so go leave that 5-star review, leave a comment, make sure you're subscribed, and we're going to continue to step into 2024 one week at a time, striving to be better. Y'all, we're going to do the damn thing this year. So stay tuned, and I will talk with you soon.